Okay guys, so I just did a video on the Berlin WCQ breakdown and some of the implications for White Forest and how poorly positioned we currently are in the meta. And so I thought it would be a good idea to look at the OCG and talk about how well or poorly positioned White Forest is in their meta. Now, obviously, there are major differences in our ban lists and also actually some relevant major differences in our legal card pools because we have Necroquip Princess and they do not. And we also, I believe, have Aerial Eater, which I think is a TCG exclusive as well. And that is now kind of like a core card in Ubel. So also remember that like a quarter of your deck in the OCG is just to do with Maxi, because you have 3 Maxis that you have to play because it's broken. You have 3 Ash that you have to play because of Maxi. You have I believe it's 2 Call By and 1 Crossout that you also have to play just for Maxi. So no one can really understand the OCG brain or the Konami OCG brain, to be honest, and why they have decided to make gameplay so horrendous. But anyhow, before we get to the White Forest stuff, they have had a much more balanced, like in air quotes, balanced format in terms of the top slots being swapped around quite a lot over the last months. So Ubel, Snake Eyes, and Tempai have all had their time in the most represented deck slot here. Whereas in the TCG, if you look at the top cut, you go from a quarter of all people entering events to like 50% of all decks in the top cut being Fiends with Snake Eyes. So they have a slightly more balanced format in terms of the representation. A couple other things that we notice is that Memento shows up there in very small percents. So does Branded. And apparently, according to this Road to the King metagame report, Rescue Ace has been overrepresented in top cut despite having only 5% overall representation. So the White Forest decks that showed up in this, let's see. So this report tabulates 343 top performing decks from 69 tournaments in Japan, China, and South Korea. And so 3 of these 343 top performing decks were White Forest, 2 being Centurion, 1 being Pure, or what I call Pure, the toy White Forest. This is consistent with what I've seen on Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta, generally keeping up with the OCG builds of this deck, where people seem to prefer the Centurion stuff. I also will say, though, that OCG deck lists tend to have in far more bricks than TCG deck lists, and they like to play gimmicky win conditions that would never be accepted in, like, high-level TCG deck building. I generally am of the opinion that the TCG is on a higher level overall when it comes to deck building, and that our decks are generally more consistent and just better, whereas the OCG has a much more like high risk, high reward approach. It's almost like the idea of Maxi, where like you really want to draw this card and then you hope they don't have the cross out or the call by or the ash for it, or maybe they ash it, but then you have cross out or call by. Like that extremely toxic type of gameplay maybe influences how people think about playing games in the OCG. I don't really know because I never played in the OCG. But I generally think that our deck building in the TCG is better. Anyhow, so let's actually look at these profiles, which I had to click through every single link in the references. Okay, not just these ones, but the first, second, third, all these different links. I had to click through all this, okay, to try and find these 3 deck profiles. So don't ask me why it is not larger or why I can't zoom in better and have higher quality, okay? Don't ask those questions. So here we have a Centurion version. And in the main deck, we see a single LZ. So I think this is interesting, in air quotes, because you have Trudea and Primera as normal summons. So these are 4 normal summons, 5, 6, 7 normal summons in the Esteller, 8, 9, including the Sylvies. I feel like that's quite a lot of normal summons. And I don't think that it makes sense that you would have to play all of these Centurion cards. I feel like if you're going to be playing a bunch of Centurion cards in a smaller White Forest package, wouldn't you want to main or max out on the LZ more? Like both the LZ and the Esteller require you to have a spell or trap to send. So it's not like this one has less of a cost. You know, you have to normal summon it. So I don't really understand that. Obviously, you see the crossout, which is at 1, and the call by, which is at 2, and the Ash and the Maxi. So, you know, almost a quarter of everybody's deck list in this entire format, guys. 2 Tails, 1 Woes, almost surprising. OCG players love to play multiple Woes. 2 main deck Bestials. I don't remember what these are at. They could be both at 1. I think they're both on the ban list in some capacity. So yeah, and then also maining the Phalanx. Playing 3 stand-up and 3 Oath, so this is like a pretty large Centurion engine. Yeah, and then let's see, do I have access to the... did they show... here it is. So here's the extra deck. So they're on 1/1/1 of the main name, so Silvera, Arciela, and Diabel. There is 1 Auxilla, 1 Legatia. They don't have Calamity, so they have Blazar and Supernova. Only 1 Crimson Dragon. Formula Synchron, they don't have Zapper Shrimp. Stardust Charge Warrior, I don't know if there's any real difference between this and Tri-Edge in our deck. Baron, which is not banned for them. Chaos Angel, Dispatter. So they do have Baron and Crimson Dragon, so that makes Dispatter a lot better in their deck than it is in ours. Typhon, I guess because there's space. Wait, what is going on here? Wait, this has to be... Why is there a Lubellion in that? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, because the shifter's at 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is a side deck. Wait, why is there a Lubellion in the side deck? Wait, what? Wait, what's going on here? What's going on here, fellas? Because the setup for this, assuming... No, go away. Assuming the... You're not hard drawing the Lubellion. What, do you have to hard draw the Saronair? And then that gives you access to the Lubellion, and then that gives you access to the Regain? That seems kind of sacky to me. I don't know. Could just be OCG stuff. If someone understands what is going on here, like if this is more consistent than I think it is, then let me know. Otherwise, I'm not really sure how reliably they're actually getting into this. So anyhow, that's the first one. That's a Centurion White Forest with some, in my opinion, strange ratios deck list. Here, also the translate post is not working. Don't ask me about it. There's no extra deck list for this one. Don't ask me why. I can't find it. It doesn't seem to exist. So again, we have the Maxi, the 3 Maxi, okay, the 3 Ash, which is also for Maxi. We have the 2 Call By and the 1 Cross Out, which is also for Maxi. So just ignore all of that. And now let's look at the rest of the ratios. For some reason, they put 1 LZ here, 1 LZ here, and then another LZ here. Okay, so this is, I guess, like in air quotes, a hand trap build, because there's 3 imperm, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I guess Maxi kind of like, in a weird way, increases your hand trap count because you can draw into more, so your hand size is different. There is 1 talent. I wonder if that is mostly there for the cross out, to be honest. We see that they're main decking the Aziroon, so they're obviously playing Rabbit. They're on 3 Tails. So 1 Trudea, 1 Primera, only 1, no, sorry, this is 2 Primera here, 1 Trudea, 1 Rusia, 1 Gargoyle. So this is a pretty large Centurion engine as well. Okay, I think I like this one a little bit better than the other one. We can see their side deck here. I'm assuming that the 1 Droll is in the main also for the cross out. And then they have a Bestial here. They have Summon Limit, which is banned for us. I think 3 Anti-Spell, which is at 1 for us. The Evenly Crow, Nib, Magnamut, Magnamut, Druis Worm, and another Droll here. So that's the second one. Here's the last one. Don't ask me why this is 3 pixels. Okay. Again, the 3 Maxi. Okay, let's just find where it is. There's a cross out, the Called By. Okay, so... Oh, wait, is he not maining Ash? Oh, no, here's the Ash. Okay, so there's your standard almost quarter of your deck in every single OCG deck list. He is playing Small World, which Maxi only shares 1 of, type, attribute, level, attack, and defense. So with the level 2s, but I don't know what actually the standard bridge would be here. They have a Veiler and a Nib. Is he playing the Gallant Granite technology? No. That probably has not... Yeah, I don't think that exists in the OCG. I don't think they've discovered that. Actually, I don't know if anyone besides me has found out about the Gallant Granite stuff. He does have Baguska and Dweller, and they do have Curious still. They're playing... What is this card next to Celine? Oh, I think that's the Light Charmer, maybe? This might be the Magistus Link 1. I don't know if this is a Masquerena and this is an access code. I am majorly pixel peeping right now, so I'm not 100% sure. This is a Baron, that's a Tri-Edge, that's a Chaos Angel, and then these are the White Forest extra deck monsters. So the other interesting thing about this is they're playing 3 chicken game. So I think that this guy enjoys losing to Droll because he has the 1 Droll in his side and not in his main. So I think he really enjoys that he starts playing and then he gets Drolled before he's made a single play or searched the 1 woes in his deck, and then he immediately loses. Then he has, this looks like a thrust. So I think it's 1 thrust and 1 talents. Where are the Sylvies? Are these the 2 Sylvies under here and the 1 Arusia on top? That's what it looks like. And he's maining the Secret Village. Honestly, this build looks like the most appealing out of all of the other builds because I don't like committing to a whole bunch of normal. Well, especially in this build. I don't like this build at all. This build, I guess, is more like of a half and half build, so it's a little bit more understandable that they're those normals. But this one, it seems like a bit cleaner to me, although I don't really understand exactly what the bridges are for the small world. I'm not going to go and look that up right now. Yeah, I feel like maybe it could be that in the OCG, people aren't maining Droll, and he thinks that the 1 Droll on the side is good enough. And then because he's on a pure, clean list, he wants to play the chicken games. And that I can kind of understand, but the only thing about that, so like I've tested Chicken Game, which is a 1 for us in the TCG, and it obviously feels nice if you get to resolve it, but it feels a lot nicer if you're on a hand trap build, because to be able to like Chicken Game and send it and like start cycling through your resources, you have to already have a way to play, so it's win more in that sense. I feel like if you were on actually legitimately a ton of hand traps, it would make more sense that you could cycle through multiple Chicken Games and you would just be drawing into hand traps constantly. But then you have to like argue, is the chicken game better than something else? Like, is it better than more talents or thrusts or breakers or other hand traps? Because you're thinking about game 1, right? Like, you're not building your deck. You're not building your deck on the assumption that you've loaded the dice and you're going to win the dice roll. So I feel like this is kind of a risky card to play at 3 in this deck, to be honest. And he has, let's see, there's the maxi, so there's 5 hand traps, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's only on 11 hand traps. In the TCG, that is just doom for us. Because, you know, if you're on that level of non-engine against Snake Eyes, you probably have to play breakers instead. And then you will just lose to certain other decks that are going to FTK you. At least like on like high ranked Omega ladder, people are going to be playing like Crimson Dragon and stuff like that you'll just lose to in standby phase. Yeah, but anyhow, I think this list looks okay. If anybody plays in the OCG and they understand like a little bit more the reasons behind some of these choices, I don't know because I don't play OCG, so let me know in the comments. Yeah, I think that's basically everything. There is a Discord. The link will be in the description below, so you can talk about deck lists, whatever. That's basically everything. Thanks for watching.